Very good morning, friends. I hope you're all safe and healthy. So, I've been discussing a couple of videos on the ECL model with respect to Index 109. And the previous video, I made a mention regarding that we need to make an assessment of the changes in the credit risk. Then, I also said that we need to look at an example where we look at, how exactly do you make an assessment of the changes in a credit risk. So today in this particular video, I'm just going to take an example which will illustrate you that how a change in the credit risk assessment is done, which in turn decides that are we going to apply a 12 months ECL or a lifetime ECL approach. Let's find this out in detail.
अनअकैडमी पर चल रही है बम्पर ऑफर और बम्पर ऑफर के अंदर अगर आप मान लीजिए सीए फाइनल ग्रुप 1 या मान लीजिए ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप 2 दोनों के कॉम्बो ऑफर्स लेते हैं तो 6 मंथ्स की सब्सक्रिप्शन पर आपको 1 मंथ एक्स्ट्रा मिलेगा, 12 मंथ्स पर आपको 2 मंथ्स एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे और 24 मंथ्स पर आपको 3 मंथ्स एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे। तो किस बात का इंतज़ार है, आइए लेट्स क्रैक इट।
Let's take an example on the concept of a credit rating. Now, we're given some facts that entity is using an internal credit rating system. So where they are giving, a credit quality rating to the financial instruments on a scale of 1 to 10. So what does the entity do in this particular case? They decide that if you get a rating of 1, it represents a lowest credit risk. And if you give a credit rating of 10, it represents a highest risk. And they've also decided that if any instrument gets a rating of 8 or less, it is not supposed to be credit impaired. So we can say that they decided a credit rating like this, that if you say that the credit rating is 8 or below, it's not credit impaired, but if it is 9 and 10, it's credit impaired. Now, the moment you say it's 9 and 10, remember you are in the bucket 3, that is the stage 3. And if you're saying it's under a rating of 8 or less, then you're either in a bucket 1 or a bucket 2. But it says that 10 is the highest rating and 1 is a lowest rating. Another thing what the company decided is that, if you look at a rating of the instrument at the initial recognition, and if you look at the credit rating on the balance sheet date, the reporting date, you need to see the change in the credit rating over a period of time. So they made a policy that, if there is an increase of, let's say, a 3 rating points, it means it's a significant increase. That means we'll see that the change is supposed to be, a 3 or more than 3, then I'll say it's a significant increase. And if it becomes a case of significant increase, then in that case, you're going to apply a lifetime ECL, moving from a stage 1 to stage 2. Let's, I think, look at this example. Now, in this particular case, the entity has created 3 loans. So they're basically, given loans, and this would be a financial asset in the books of the company. Now, as you can see, we are going a little very safe. You can see the credit ratings at different point of times at the date of initial recognition and on the balance sheet date. All the ratings have been kept below 8. So on a safe side, of course, we are not looking at a situation where we're entering a stage number 3. So we need to first of all take a presumption at the back of the mind that right now, let's say on instrument ABC, let's say I'm currently applying a 12 months ECL. Now I want to take a decision, should I continue with a 12 months ECL or should I go for a lifetime ECL approach? Now, if you look at the instrument A, you can see the rating is an increase of 3. If you look at the instrument B, it's an increase of 4. So the company made an internal rating system where they decided that if the change in the credit rating is 3 and above, it's a significant change in terms of credit risk. Which means for instrument A and B, currently if you're using a 12 months ECL, now I'm going to switch over to the concept of lifetime ECL. But if you look at instrument C, though the rating is quite high at the initial recognition, and if you look at the credit rating, it's exactly equal to B. But if you look at the change in terms of C, it's a change only to the extent of 2. Now, if that change is supposed to 2, it indicates that it's not supposed to be a significant increase. So in terms of C, we would continue to use a 12 months ECL itself. So even though the rating of B and C on the balance sheet date is same, but you can see that in spite of that fact, B is being, taken under a lifetime ECL and C is being taken under a 12 months ECL. Isn't that interesting? So you can see that conclusions I've written that there has been a significant increase in the credit risk for A and B because the credit ratings have, increased 3 and plus. That means a switch over in terms of lifetime ACL. Though you can see C and B have got a same credit rating on the balance sheet date, but you can see that the credit risk change in terms of B is there, but in terms of C, the credit risk is not significant. So C would continue under a 12 months ACL approach. Pretty interesting indeed. So that's all in this video. So I'm going to take a last video in the trail, and where we're going to have a look at the practical expedient which is allowed, what you call a matrix approach in case of trade receivable. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.